How good was Reggie Bush before the NFL? That's a great question. Personally, I think a lot of you forgot. So today we're going to take a deep dive into Reggie Bush. But first, to truly understand, we must rewind back to the beginning. Hope you guys enjoy. Reginald Alfred Bush Jr. was born March 2nd, 1985 in Spring Valley, California. Reggie was born to Reginald Bush Sr. and Denise Griffin. His parents divorced at a young age, so he grew up with his mother and his stepfather, Lamar Griffin. At a young age, Reggie loved football. He knew that this was something he wanted to go far in. His parents were very supportive, and it was obvious at a young age Reggie had a gift in sports. Reggie attended Helix High School in La Mesa, California. Reggie was a star in every sport, most notably track and field and football. Actually, in track and field, Reggie placed second in the 100-meter dash in the state finals his senior year. At Helix High School, Bush played alongside another high school phenom and future NFL number 1 pick, Alex Smith. The two of them together would achieve great success. That included 2 CIF championships Reggie's sophomore and junior year. As a senior, though missing 4 games, Bush was still able to rush for 1,691 yards for a whopping 27 touchdowns. According to Rivals.com, Reggie was a 5-star prospect and the number 1 ranked running back in his class. Reggie had numerous Power 5 offers. Ultimately, Bush would stay close to home and elect to attend the University of Southern California. As an 18-year-old true freshman, Bush would contribute right away. Rushing, receiving, punt returns, and kick returns, Reggie had the full skill set. Pete Carroll had envisioned multiple ways that Reggie Bush could contribute, and Bush delivered. In 13 games, Bush rushed for 521 yards and 3 rushing scores. Bush also caught 15 passes for 314 yards and 4 more touchdowns. The freshman also led the Pac-10 in kick return yards. His 1,331 all-purpose yards set a USC freshman record. That was enough to earn a consensus freshman All-American selection. Reggie's sophomore year is really when he became a nationally known individual. He and fellow running back Lindell White would create arguably the best duo in college football. Bush would be second behind White in both carries and rushing yards. He would amass 143 carries for 908 yards, which was good for 6 yards a carry and a pair of touchdowns in the return game. And with his excellent hands, he caught 43 passes for 509 yards and 7 more scores. I mean, honestly, 43 catches for 509 and 7 scores is elite for a running back. And remember, Reggie Bush was 1B. That elite versatility earned Bush a Heisman invitation where he finished 5th in the voting alongside his high school teammate Alex Smith. This actually marked the first time 2 high school teammates were at a Heisman ceremony. That year, 2004, Bush's teammate Matt Leinart would actually win the Heisman, which is also historical. It's now Reggie Bush's junior year, and the hype train for Bush and USC was astronomical. They entered the 05 season, ranked number 1 in the AP polls, and were seeking a 3rd straight national title. Bringing back the reigning Heisman winner in Matt Leinart, and arguably the most dynamic running back going into his junior year, with 3 easy wins versus Hawaii, Arkansas, and number 24 ranked Oregon. Bush, he was a human highlight reel. For example, in the game against Arkansas, he rushed for 125 yards on just 8 carries. Bush was taking over college football. He was all over the sport networks and the newspapers. As the season continued, Reggie Bush's statistical efficiency was historical and was never really seen before. Most notably, he scored 3 touchdowns against Notre Dame on national television. He also helped USC beat Notre Dame by the famous Bush push. Then came November 19, 2005. This game against number 16 ranked Fresno State was a game for the ages. The game was another primetime edition. Neither defense seemed to have an answer. USC would ride the back of Bush as he would amass 513 yards from scrimmage. That was 294 rushing, 68 receiving, and 151 return yards. One rush, and arguably one of the most immaculate plays in college football history, Bush would burst down the sideline and stop on the dime, reverse the field, and propel towards the end zone. USC won in a thriller. Bush then capped off the regular season with 260 yards against their rivals UCLA. Bush would win the Heisman in a landslide voting. Honestly, it wasn't close. Bush received 784 out of the possible 892 first-place votes. Reggie Bush was also the first back since Marcus Allen in 1981 to win the Heisman for USC. USC went into the national championship game, number 1 ranked versus the undefeated number 2 ranked Texas Longhorns. USC also was riding high on a 34-game winning streak. Relatively speaking, Bush was held in check compared to his Heisman standards and what he had done to pretty much every defense all season, but he still rushed for 82 yards, 6 yards a carry, and was second on the team in both catches and receiving yards with 6 catches for 95 yards. In this game, one of his highlight plays included a 26-yard scamper rushing touchdown up the right sideline, which at that time put USC up in the middle of the fourth quarter. This was such a clutch play when USC needed it most, but unfortunately, there were heroics by another individual, and that was Vince Young for the Texas Longhorns, who propelled Texas in the upset victory over USC, 41-38. As I asked earlier, how good was Reggie Bush really? Well, in his 3 seasons at USC, Bush became one of the greatest football players, not just in USC history, but in college football history. His legacy, honestly, is cemented in the history books. Accolades include earning a consensus All-American honors twice, his sophomore and junior years. He also earned Pac-10 Player of the Year twice in the same years as well. His historic junior year, he won the Doak Walker Award, which is given to college football's most outstanding running back, in addition to the Walter Camp Award. And he was also named the Associated Press's Player of the Year. All that, and the icing on the cake, was his Heisman Trophy. That junior Heisman year, he led the nation in all-purpose yards. He averaged 222 total yards per game. So the man was great. He has the stats, the accolades, the highlights, and I just wanted to make a video to really go down memory lane and see how great and how dominant he truly was up to high school and college. But that's all for the video. I appreciate you guys if you made it this far. Go ahead and like and subscribe to the video for more content. Thank you and have a good one. Cheat!